B. Dolly for False Chord magazine, and today we're having a little chat with Ross from Dead on a Sunday. Thank you so much for joining us. So I would love to get a little short history of Dead on a Sunday, because it is very different in tone to some of your other projects.
Sure. I don't know if there's any short history about it, but it's been around for about 4 years, and it's just something I started during the pandemic, mostly just because I always wanted to sing in like a band. So I'd never really sang in a band before. It's just me doing stuff I like.
And you decided to go with a goth band. Now, was that a conscious choice?
No, I still don't think the band's a goth band, but I understand that people need like a niche for things and the label things to conversate about them easier. But yeah, I guess it got made apparent to me when I sent my music into like a local radio station, and the music director over there was kind of like, we don't really play goth stuff. And I was like, goth stuff? But apparently it has to do with my vocal range, so.
Fair. So if you wouldn't classify Dead on a Sunday as a goth band, what would you classify it as?
I just think it's just alternative music, really. It's kind of an all-encompassing, thing. It's not trying to be pop or metal or anything. It's just, it's a bunch of different, it's like a cornucopia of my influences.
Okay. Now, the tour is called The Death of Bobcore. Let's talk a little bit about that, because Bobcore has been a big thing with Dead on a Sunday. Can you explain what Bobcore is, and what do you mean by the death of Bobcore?
Bobcore is dead. Bobcore is something that some people came up with on TikTok because they think I sound like Bob Belcher when I sing lower. And I didn't come up with this. A bunch of other people did. Bobcore is dead on a Sunday.
Fair. So is that why we've seen kind of the stylistic shift from like looking like a cool night butcher to more of like a dark murder cowboy?
Oh, I just get bored with, just get bored with the look. So I'm always changing it up. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna like goth night butcher forever. So,
Now, you have a new album coming out, Under the Full Moon, on November 4th, is that right?
November 5th.
November 5th, sorry about that. And you released a song called Slasher off of the new album, and you had a really, really cool concept for that. Can we talk about that?
The album's called In Memoriam. It is out November 5th. Slasher was the first single from it, which is sort of, it takes elements of dark wave and kind of mixes them with synth pop and hard rock and yeah, I don't know. It's there's other stuff on the album I feel like leans a little differently, but that one in particular kind of is maybe the most familiar of a sound for people to have heard first. It's kind of based around like an 80s kind of horror theme. I'd actually written like a whole comic trilogy about that song that I was hoping to do, but those things become wildly expensive quickly. But essentially, the plot line about it is that it's like this slasher movie classic that keeps getting remade, and every time it's remade, the lead final girl from the film is actually murdered in real life. And there's this like kind of savior hero guy that's sort of cursed to live forever until he solves this mystery of this sort of shadow figure that kind of hunts and kills these leads. And it's kind of a cyclical thing. Like he always fails, the cycle always continues.
Very cool. Similar to I don't know if you saw the 80s movie Rockula, but sounds better.
Yes, yeah.
So speaking of horror, and speaking of slashers, what are your favorite slasher movies?
I'm a big fan of the classics, like the original Halloween, original Nightmare on Elm Street. I think is one of the scariest movies ever made, honestly. Mm-hmm. For me, at least, seeing that as a young child, and even reaffirming my belief that is true. I watched it in the last couple years, like, oh yeah, that is still one of the scariest movies of all time.
You know what? I'm with you. So who's your favorite final girl?
it's a good one. I mean, well, I guess we're gonna have to go with Jamie Lee Curtis.
The classic.
Yeah.
The classic. Now, I was stalking your social media like a good interviewer does.
Sure.
Totally normal, not being creepy at all. And I noticed a really interesting, insightful video that you posted about record labels and why you in particular stay independent. Can you talk a little bit about that for us?
Because I don't believe that the way that it's designed in the music industry with labels, it's just not made for artists to win. You're always going to, you're getting advances, you're paying back basically the worst credit card deal of all time. They're loaning you money at basically 86% interest is what it looks like. They're just not, they're not built for an artist in 2025 to win. They never have been built for an artist to win, but at the current time frame and where we're at with technology and TikTok and the ability to put out your own music on DSPs and streaming's so easy to get your music up for that. There's no reason that you need a label unless you really can't do anything yourself or you really have no money, you really need a budget. But even then, so much this project got started on no money. I produced and mixed and recorded everything at home. Granted, that is a skill set that takes 10,000 hours to get good at, but so does singing. So.
Right.
Yeah. Now,
the flip side of that is there is a lot of work that now you have to do. What's the hardest part about being an independent artist right now?
I'm not scared of work, but I think the hardest part is, you're always kind of battling this algorithm thing all the time for exposure, and everybody's just putting shit into the ether all the time, music and content, and I guess just getting over the noise is always the struggle with things. Yeah.
And you've managed to do that. What would be your tips to get over the noise?
I would say just, post the things that you think are cool or you like, and write the music you like, and that's true to you. And like the Bobcore meme thing happening was, that wasn't planned or anything. It just happened. The algorithm, the TikTok viral stuff, it's like winning a lottery. The more times you post something, the more better chances you have.
Right.
Sure.
That makes a lot of sense. Now you're currently on tour. This is your first time in Canada?
Yes.
Welcome. What would you say a tour survival guide would look like?
Eat healthy. Don't be afraid to do a lot of work because you do a lot of work. If you're a singer, take care of your voice. Try to stay out of air conditioning and interviews where you have to talk too much. But yeah, those for me is kind of a big one, just maintaining my voice. You can hear I'm like right now, because the weather's changing all the time.
Right.
And every time I walk into a cool room, I'm like, shit, air conditioning, and yeah.
Now, you've done a myriad of covers from a myriad of different artists, and I would love to hear your musical hear me outs. Like, you know what a hear me out is, right?
Tell me.
Okay, so what do you say is music that a lot of people usually dismiss that you say, hear me out, this is actually good?
Typo Negative. I think it's a band that's very slept on. I know that there's like a niche for that band, but I feel like even through the 90s, even in their popularity, that was a band that was really slept on. Of course, there's this few songs or hits people know from that band, like Black Number One or Christian Woman, but they have a great discography, great musicianship, great songwriters, like Beatles-esque moments in so many places. Like, it's really incredible.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And where can we find you online?
Anything Dead on a Sunday.
Amazing. Perfect. Thank you so much, Ross. I appreciate you coming out and spending some time with me. For False Chord, I'm B. See you next time.